so setup wise, like I say, was pretty good to be fair. Nothing really major sort of stand out there from address position, but the takeaway now and the swing was the issue on the backswing. Wasn't really much wrist hinge going back. This one here now, I think the wrist is a little bit earlier there. Okay, arm a little bit there. So your wrist of hinge may be, I know, 4 or 5 degrees more. It seems loads to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not that much. Excuse me, not that much change. Okay, so your wrists then start hinging here, and then they collapse. Okay, so you get this collapse at the top of the backswing here now. Now your arms are really close to your body, hands are really close, and the club's gone in some ways too far. Okay, this one here as we go back to the top here now, that's much better. You're keeping that width.
Gosh, am I still going back that far?
You go back a bit further actually.
Okay. Is that my new swing?
This is your new swing, okay? That's where you went to.
It feels as I'm stopping over here.
Exactly. Real and feel are two different. But you can look at those two positions there in terms of the width of your hands. There's much more width. Your hands are a lot higher. You're keeping that gap between your hands and your sternum there, or your neck there, okay, where this one's a lot closer. Yeah. This arm is almost at 90 degrees. That arm's just a gentle curve, which is fine. That's allowed that in some ways, okay? But as you then came through the golf ball with this one, okay, you straighten your arms, club at the ground behind the golf ball, and the arms sort of shrug up here, and they're all very collapsed and cramped, okay? As you come through with this one here now, good strike of the strike there's much better, okay? And now the arms, when they go through, look how much more width. You're looking for that L shape on the other side. There to there. The left elbow, the elbows are down, shall we say, as opposed to that one there with that left elbow's quite high, sort of sticking up. This is always a bit further through the swing there, but you're just swinging through there. A much better fold of the golf swing, I think is the way to look at it, okay? And the thing, as I say in the golf swing, we don't want to keep our head down. We don't want to keep our arms straight. Arms have to move and bend.
Yeah.
No one in the history of golf has kept both arms perfectly straight for the entirety of the golf swing. Unless they are super flexible, their swing would be about hip height at best. So things have to bend, okay? But if you say something to keep your arms straight, we kind of mishear plural to singular. Oh, keep both arms straight, and you lock everything, and now nothing can move. And then when something has to eventually give way around about this point here where the hands are around, the club's going this way, if your left arm's out there hinging upwards, your right arm can't reach the golf club. When we did that one-handed swing with that little junior club, your left arm was sort of way up here. As I said, keep your right on the golf, you can't reach it. So the elbow has to kind of go down. The golf swing in itself, in its simplistic terms, okay, is a turn of the shoulders. That's kind of where your shoulders start, okay, in that line direction there, okay. We turn our shoulders on the way back. You turn them on the way through. So your shoulders are basically opening and closing a door, kind of rotating. And we just hinge the wrists on the way back and through. And when you allow the wrist to hinge, body parts are going to sort of hinge. And if your left arm hinges a little bit, it's not the end of the world, okay? It's when it sort of collapses here, and then we try and throw it out and then try and keep it straight, okay? If we allow things to sort of just to have it take its natural course, there's a little bit of a hinge there. The way I always explain to me, if you're going to walk down the street, okay, if I'm walking, my arm kind of just swings from the shoulder, and there's a bit of wrist hinge there, I guess, and my arm just sort of swings back and forth, and there's a bit of hinge in the elbow. I don't sort of do this with my hands and walk around my arm flopping like a salmon on the end of it, but equally I don't sort of walk around kind of that way. So kind of how your arm works is how we want to work in the golf swing. Keep it as natural and as simple as possible. Like I said, your swing involved a lot of pulling in, stretching out, lifting up, chucking, to try and time that back to the golf when your club is travelling roughly 20 feet back to the golf ball at about 70 mile an hour with in, out, shake it all about kind of thing. It's going to be tough, Beth. I mean, and when the ground is so soft, and if you get it wrong, it's just a complete mess.
Yeah.
Confidence-wise is rock bottom. So when you're not feeling confident and the ground round Kyra is not going to be even, there'll be some undulations in the ground there, that's going to add some issues to the shot, and there's no confidence, and you've got all these variations, chance of getting a good shot is going to be minimal at best, isn't it? So if we can just simplify the move, get that good golf out that we know it's inside there, reduce the movements, okay? Just think, turn your shoulders, hinge and swish the club. Take all that thought about keeping this straight, keeping this down, keep all these different movements that we see, because when the head stays down, the arm tries to stay straight. It's just a nightmare. And the more that arm stays straight to try and stop it bending, it will eventually bend, but in the wrong way. This left arm has to bend. Control how it's going to bend, and you then dictate what it's going to do, rather than locking and just letting, well, okay, I'll let forces of nature take over, it'll bend in its own accord. And then that'll be when it goes wrong. Okay? Does that make sense? Hopefully simplify the golf swing, yeah? Try and take a lot more thought and variables at the golf swing when you're hitting the golf ball. Just think more about, okay, where's the ball going to go and what club I'm going to take, rather than it's just got to stay straight there, do this, and all these different things, okay? Just relax the arms. In some ways, I think hinge the wrist up as quick as you can on the way back, okay? Like I say, from here now, if you hinge the wrist there, okay, your club could be somewhere in that sort of position there. At the moment, you can see it's in a straight line. In time, that will hinge a little bit quicker, okay? And I don't think at the moment you could really hinge it too much, because too much hinge would be up there somewhere. Well, you know when you're that, you're not going to suddenly change from down there to down there. When that change here, okay, felt like the golf club was kind of up there somewhere, didn't it? So you've changed the club from there to there. You've changed, I don't know, 3 degrees, 4 degrees. So if I said hinge the wrist as quick as you could, it wouldn't suddenly go and be 90 degrees increase, would it? So it'd be only small changes each time. Okay. Good stuff.